we go. Probably gonna just expect standard bans early on. Although I feel like ROX is in a little bit more control because it doesn't really make too much sense to try to target ban anything away from Faker. And as I say that, actually, they do ban the Jace. It isn't always going to be something that just Faker can play. Huni obviously able to play the Jace up in top lane.
It's a nice ban for SKT. You take it away from two of the people on that lineup that can potentially play that pick. We do see the Zyra ban coming out here as the second ban for the ROX Tigers. Camille as the follow-up for SKT.
Camille being highlighted right now. And in Shy's games, he actually only played Maokai, by the way, and so that might be a pick that ends up getting contested here in the pick ban phase. We're gonna have to see what their final ban is. Is ROX actually just gonna ban away the Malzahar? Or do you think, well, he might actually elect to play it. They do have blue side. They could first pick the Malzahar. Wouldn't be surprised, though, with how much Shy does like Maokai if they first pick Maokai.
Tom Kench is banned by ROX Tigers.
Yep, Tom Kench getting banned probably does signal the first pick Malzahar for the ROX Tigers. And very common ban right there with the Rengar. That
was a Wolf Malzahar for you guys who were able to catch on to that. Says he has really good sense, and this is Faker, obviously.
Now SK Telecom on the red side, highlighting Ashe. And if they pick Ashe, it's probably going to be accompanied by Misfortune because Malzahar is already selected by the ROX Tigers.
Interesting to not see the Varus come through here, but as you did say, the Misfortune seems to be the pick here for SKT.
And now this means that ROX picks Varus up to respond to Misfortune. Can't pick Caitlyn, can't pick Jhin. There's the Varus. And how they choose to finish off this part of the pick phase, I don't quite know. Not after seeing their draft last game. It looks like they are highlighting an Elise.
Very interesting pick. I have to say that someone's Elise was not all that spectacular in game number one. I think part of it was not because of the champion itself, but because of just the way the lanes were going and where he was trying to force ganks. So maybe wants to give it a second try here in game number 2.
Might want to try that indeed. A lot of pick for ROX team composition right now. All of their champions has some sort of lockdown. And SK Telecom highlighting Lee Sin.
Not Mr. 0-10.
Peanut's he's trying to break the record. He's like, we're SK Telecom, we don't lose.
Yeah.
So he's gonna bring it to 1-11 or 1-10.
And keep in mind that Kha'Zix and Rek'Sai and Olaf Graves still open, but deciding to go for the Lee Sin here is Peanuts. And is there a possibility that Faker's like, I mean, we're gonna destroy these guys anyway. Let me go with Lee Sin mid.
Well, no, I don't think that that's going to end up happening. I wouldn't be surprised to see the ROX Tigers actually ban away Corki now. Don't give a red side Corki over to Faker.
He says, dealer, tanker, I don't really care. I'll carry anyway. That was a picture of Huni for you guys who haven't caught on to the meme yet.
We'll have to see what the ban ends up being. Timer stopped. Okay, Gangplank being highlighted now by the ROX Tigers, and if that is going to be banned away by the ROX Tigers, I feel like that guarantees that it will be a Maokai pick.
SKT missed their ban. That's why they don't have a 4th ban right there. So this is not an error. They actually just ran out of time and didn't ban anything.
Okay.
Or is it a strategy, LS?
It could very legitimately be a strategy. So now with Poppy being banned away, Kennen being highlighted, this guarantees that Maokai is basically in ROX's mind. And now, I mean, with SK Telecom knowing that, they're going to pick it right here. I almost feel like every time when ROX's team comp has that much magic damage and you make it that obvious that you want to get a hold of Maokai. Unless they have something up their sleeve and they're trying to make SK Telecom think that, so that they can get a counter pick to it.
I'm just wondering, did you see that fan sign of Boo Bear in the audience, by the way?
No.
It's right in front of you. It's actually a picture of Bang with its mustache, but for some reason he's a bear. Not 100% sure, but they also call him the Potato Father, I think it says. Not sure what the relation is there. Anyway, Rise is the pickup here for ROX.
Right, and a Trundle hover. That's a really that's pretty nice that they made SK Telecom pick the Maokai and then they respond with the Trundle, but I don't think it's worth it. I also think that the Rise pick is very bizarre. There was enormous amounts of magic now on ROX Tigers team comp, and that just makes it all the more easier for Peanut to actually pick up a Locket of the Iron Solari, get a Maw of Malmortius, and then Maokai is just going to be absolutely gigantic. So another bizarrely all-in comp. And with the amount of CC, I mentioned last game how I didn't think Katarina would get locked in, but SK Telecom always likes to close out the series with a Katarina.
Oh man, Faker, he wants to put on a show again. He says that, I don't care how much CC you have, I'm playing Katarina. I will outplay you. And we saw him outplay Mickey in the mid lane in the first game, so can he do it once again? Can he outplay the entire team of ROX Tigers on Katarina?
Well, Brendan, I'll tell you what, any other team that would draft like this into what ROX had, I would feel like they're just trying to be really stylish or they're being very overconfident. But in this scenario, it is SK Telecom, and ROX has a lot of work cut out for them if they want to win the game, but they have a comp to do it.
Gonna be curious to see Shy on this Trundle too. We haven't seen too much Trundle in LCK, and we haven't seen too much Shy in LCK either. So he comes out here for the ROX Tigers in a time of dire need. And I hope this isn't just throwing him to the wolves, as you described when Samsung sent out Haru that time in their first day where they played. And we'll see if they can actually get something done with that Trundle.
I feel like they have a team composition that if they can stay on even footing with SK Telecom, they'll be really well equipped heading into the mid and late game compared to last game.
That is the key, though. They have to stay on par with SK Telecom, the boys in red and white. And you guys can see their lineup here, too. We'll see how they can do here in game number 2. They have been so dominant in every game that they've played up until this point. Can they continue with the train going on here? Let's jump into game number 2 right now. Two of the most passionate fan groups for teams in League of Legends in Korea. Going head-to-head, SKT in the lead 1-0 so far, and we get to see if Peanut can break the losing streak of Lee Sin. So far 0-10 in LCK. Can he make it 1-10?
Well, I think that's what he's trying to do here. And SKT fanning out, likewise ROX fanning out as well. And the early game is going to be what we need to pay attention to. Peanut has to make stuff happen. Faker needs to get ahead. Bang and Wolf, they have the advantage matchup in bottom lane. And we're going to see what they can do with it. I like the ward being placed onto red. This gives Peanut the information that he needs in order to know exactly Seonghwan's route.
Huni going to get cheeky with the saplings at the Raptors here. Wants to clean up a bit of them, get an early XP lead. In the meantime, Seonghwan and Shy looking for a bit of a small maneuver towards the red buff.
Oh, was it spot? It wasn't spotted.
They do not know, and here they come. Right on top of them right now, and SKT has no idea. The smite, and it goes over to Huni somehow. A missed smite, and he gets the last hit as Maokai and gets the red buff.
That takes effort.
How does that even happen?
That takes effort.
I think, yeah, that takes effort almost out of someone in a way, you know, to get that to line up exactly with Maokai's last hit.
Yeah, and Huni right now able to secure that red buff for SK Telecom. He is a saint for their team right now.
This guy, he dominates the top lane in not the best matchups. Now he's got red buff and level 2. He's going to try to force a trade here, even at half health. Doesn't go all too well, but he's trying, you know. And he's been so key for SKT so far.
And that mess up actually benefits SKT even in the jungler matchup, as Lee Sin's going to have an easier time than Seonghwan on that Elise. And moving throughout the jungle, Faker under a lot of pressure right now though in mid lane. Mickey just wants to shove this in, recall, and get his Tear of the Goddess. Oh, messes up really badly right there, missing that farm.
Missed about like 2 or 3 creeps there with that one wave. So, oh, he's got a ward here too. Does catch Faker, as perhaps that was actually Faker that denied the recall at the same time, or Mickey just wanting to do a bit of damage, as it doesn't look like Faker had the vision. Down here in bot, already a push into the turret of ROX Tigers out of SKT. Here's Peanut. Did not get the red buff, as we saw earlier on, but did take the blue and is going for the Scuttle Crab.
Now Peanut with the Scuttle Crab looking to get a little bit of information on Seonghwan. He is on top of a ward though. No, they know exactly where he is. This can be really dangerous.
Seeing if he can land a Sonic Wave perhaps onto the big Raptor. Lots of pings going down onto Mickey in the mid lane by both Peanut and Faker, no doubt, as they try to make something happen. But you can see that Seonghwan's right here. Faker getting hit by the cocoon, but a nice dash back at just the right time. Sonic Wave does land. Is Peanut going to go for it? He's going to do a bit of damage. Does follow up. Oh, here's Wolf coming out of bot lane, making a nice little cameo. Doesn't do much, though.
And the interesting thing about Wolf's roam right here is that the lane was in an okay position, and the other thing that it does is it guarantees that Bang gets solo experience. So now it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the ROX Tigers to judge where his experience bar is when he's level 5, and they have to be really careful now against Ash's level 6 spike.
Very good point indeed. And taking a look at top lane, you can see Huni was able to push in quite nicely. The red buff has by now expired, but getting a decent amount of farm. A big wave being pushed into Trundle, who's now picking that up. Here's Huni. He's going to place a ward directly onto Seonghwan. Does delay that back. Nicely done.
Yep, nice sapling toss right there. Also he does have the double Doran's ring. Able to sustain up in top against Shy's Trundle. And all across the board, SK Telecom doing reasonably well. Faker is behind in CS, but that's expected in that matchup. That matchup isn't really judged by are they able to stay even. If Katarina can stay close to Mickey, then that's a victory for SKT.
A couple of piercing arrows here missing for Songyun. Not able to get that harass damage done to Bang, who is near full health at this time. Wolf was able to regen quite a bit, and look at how passive they're being now. They're both going to go right back to turret and back at the same time. So not having too much vision, it looks like they just want to play it safe.
Playing it safe indeed. Faker not shoving the lane at all, just last hitting when necessary. Doesn't really have the ward coverage up right now to be safe if Seonghwan would try to make a gank in mid. He does have that ward to the right, but now you can see Faker put the wave into the turret. He's looking for wards right now. Might even be looking for a roam up in top lane, and this will be unscouted.
No vision until he hits that ward. And look at the position of this wave. He's going to move right in at about the worst time. Could see the Twisted Advance coming in. The ultimate is moved here by Maokai. Still no level 6 for Faker, so no big burst damage, but he's still going to jump in. A flash out of Huni, but he's not going to be able to pick up that kill onto Shy.
Yeah, and Faker didn't have... Oh, he just got it. I wasn't able to quite see his experience bar. Maybe he was one minion away and he was expecting to get it as he arrived. Mickey just going to restore a little bit of his mana. Seonghwan looks to potentially steal away Peanut's red buff. Just has a ward on it. They have to know that Peanut is on his way here. Peanut does suspect that this could be possible.
And now he has seen it. But Mickey is around here and Peanut's all alone. He has to wait for Faker. Does get the Sonic Wave down. Can he time the smite? Yeah, he does, but he could pay for it with his life. Is he going to get away? Using the blasting plant to help Peanut, and he jumps away somehow, some way. And Faker now should be able to get out of alive. Peanut does get the red buff and does survive.
Yep. Peanut does get his red buff. He recalling right now. Nothing for Seonghwan to do up in top lane. Blue buff coming up for Mickey though soon. So Mickey looking to shove this wave into Faker and then probably get the handoff on blue. And we can take another quick replay at this. So Peanut doesn't know that Mickey's here. So when he goes for the smite fight, he knows that he's going to take a little bit of damage, but he wasn't expecting this much. Faker shows up, able to threaten a lot of damage onto Seonghwan and make him recall, or at least go away, as him and Mickey make his way to the mid lane.
Oh, looks like Mickey coming in now for the gank onto Wolf, and that should be enough. Lots of counter damage going on to Mickey, but that will be first blood. Here's Peanut on the chase. Will be able to pick up Varus. That Nether Grasp is not going to be enough as he's forced to cancel it on the run. And here comes Peanut once again. Gonna give the kill over to Bang. And there you do go. And look at this. Here's Faker. He's not done yet. Mickey underneath that turret. How is he going to survive this when he cannot run away?
Yeah. Mickey's going down.
Here they go. Faker able to pick up that kill. He needs to jump away. He's going to flash. And just barely gets away.
Yeah, barely does get away, but he lives nonetheless, and Mickey goes down. So a big turnaround for SK Telecom. ROX started that out pretty well, but then Key a little slow with the Nether Grasp, not able to lock down Peanut. Huni, in the meantime, actually got the blue buff.
This guy is the master of buffs this game.
So you see the Rise ultimate comes in, they lock up Wolf, the exhaust comes down, but the brunt of the damage already happened. Songyun able to get flash forward and dish out the damage, and you can see right there, Key didn't sacrifice himself to save Varus, and then he ends up going down too. And then when Faker showed up, it was too easy to just basically trap Mickey underneath the turret and secure that kill too.
Good focus by Bang too onto Rise, just to make sure that they were able to secure that one kill, even though they knew that Wolf was inevitably going to go down. Here comes Faker again onto Mickey. You always have to be so careful the amount of damage that Katarina can output.
Meanwhile, up in top lane, Huni content to just stay underneath his turret. Both top laners having teleport available to them, but it is a Cloud Drake as the first one of the game, and that's not something that either team really needs to invest a lot into. And so I don't expect to see it be taken unless it's just opportunistic.
See Seonghwan clearing out this ward that he did see put down. Scrying Plant is going to clear out the other one for Peanut. Able to clear out a control ward in this brush too. A bit of positioning as Wolf eats some damage. Peanut still hanging around as Seonghwan slowly begins to creep towards bot too. Lots of focus down near that bot river.
Faker just trying to get a little bit of farm right here. It looks like Mickey was going to go off to maybe place a ward, or just fake it.
Faker coming on, and he does get all of that farm, but does eat a bit of damage for it. Here comes Huni down towards mid lane, could be looking for a gank, and there are no wards in the top river. As you can see, the bottom river is flooded with them, but nothing towards the top. And no back pings just yet. He does see Huni. Are they going to go for it? The flash, twisted advance, and a ton of damage comes down. Mickey will eat that death, and a nice gank there from Huni.
Yeah, really nice. Played by SK Telecom. Huni able to use that flash. They know that Mickey still didn't have his. Exhaust wasn't going to be enough. And now the CS advantage that Mickey had, it's almost all gone. And now Huni's going to be able to make his way back up to top lane, where the lane is in an excellent position for him again. So all of that was planned, and he's able to even save his teleport as well.
Yeah, and all that CC we were talking about for Katarina. Faker sitting at 2-0, even farm. Hold that thought there as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does go wide, and Peanut's going to eat all of that damage, does eventually take the death too. Believing too much in Bang and that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, perhaps.
Seonghwan now going to recall. Both top laners are recalling as well. Mickey continuing to farm, and the game enters back into a passive state.
It's pretty unbelievable what Faker's able to do on this champion. Always in the best position. You could see that they really tried to snowball him as well. Like Huni just going for that play just to make sure that Katarina gets even farther ahead.
Right. You can't make it, you can't have a Katarina pick and then not accelerate it into the mid game. It needs to be ahead in order to be relevant. It can't fall too far behind, or it's just not really going to offer the kind of damage that you need it to in order to be effective at this level of play.
Even the gank that he went down towards bot for, he saw weakness in the lineup of ROX. He's like, okay, I see that Mickey's down there, he's all alone. I'm going to go for that counter gank and pick up my first kill. And he just gets himself ahead in that manner. So really nice map positioning at the same time. And now look at the way this lane is going. Mickey is struggling to get his own farm in this lane.
Faker now has the CS advantage over Mickey, who doesn't quite yet have Rod of the Ages.
Oh, and look at this, a bit of a counter tank. Nice job by Faker to just jump out of there and get out alive.
Seonghwan gonna probably stay in mid lane here. Mickey, though, looking like he wants another wave, so he must just be on the edge of being able to afford Rod of the Ages. You can see that Peanut coming in here now.
Yeah, has spotted Seonghwan. He's just gonna steal away some of the farm. Not going to engage onto Seonghwan just yet, but you can see the pressure that this is exerting onto the mid lane, onto Seonghwan. It takes Seonghwan away from mid, takes Mickey away from the Raptors too, and eventually SKT gets a better trade out of that.
Yep. Now Seonghwan not able to hand off the blue just yet, and this actually opens up an opportunity for SK Telecom to steal it away, and ROX might pay for Mickey's delayed recall. I don't know if they're going to be able to defend against it. Oh no, Seonghwan.
Oh boy, you're running straight into the fire, man. Ooh, nice nether grabs to take him away, but it looks like Key may just pay for it with his life. Here comes Peanut, gonna pick up the kill. And now Shy trying to get onto Faker. Nice pillar there, but Faker's gonna be able to jump away. And now Shy on the run, another twisted advance, and the MF ultimate comes through, bullet time, and down he goes. And another couple of kills going over to SKT.
Yep. More kills indeed for SK Telecom. Faker almost went down there, but he is so good on this champion. And now SK Telecom gonna capture the first turret of the game, and it's the mid turret as well. Mickey doesn't really have the ability to do anything. Faker getting farm up in top lane. And we might just see SK Telecom pick up the Cloud Drake here. It is a little bit risky, because Seonghwan and Key are around their red buff. Instead, it looks like they're just going to pick up their blue and recall.
So now 4,000 gold ahead is SKT, and something that's fun about Katarina too is that generally when you see players play a champion this well, you say, oh, they make it look easy, but you can tell just how hard it is to pull off something like this. Yeah. So he gets a ton of damage done to Seonghwan and gets Nethergrass and then somehow gets away.
So Peanut able to use Lee Sin's kick to knock Key away, finishing it up, and then Faker, they almost had him trapped, but then he's able to get into blue just in time. Huni able to lock up Shy with the twisting advance, and then the bullet time from Wolf dealing a lot of damage. Bang's Enchanted Crystal Arrow almost connected on Seonghwan, and if it did, he would have went down as well.
Bang's like 1 for 3 on those Enchanted Crystal Arrows this game. Generally pretty solid with those, perhaps having a bit of trouble this time around. And we do see once again another rotation down towards bot lane, and are they going to go for it? It looks like ROX is a bit suspicious, and you can see someone is hanging around here too. Down comes Mickey, so SKT is just going to back off.
Might have a party in bot lane. Both top laners have teleports available to them, but Mickey gets spotted out, so they probably have an idea that Seonghwan might be here as well.
Ooh, they flash Chain Corruption, and that's not enough. And look at the bullet time too. They're actually going to try to push onto Key, and Seonghwan doesn't even come out. He's just going to let him go down. Not like he could have saved him either. Is Peanut going to go for it? Yes, he will. The kick coming in, and a little bit too much there perhaps, but here comes Faker. Bang eating a ton of that tower damage too. As does Faker, trying to get onto Seonghwan. Is it going to be enough? Just barely. And oh, the last turret shot will get him. I feel like SKT almost showing off at this point. Does kill the turret. Can they turn onto Sanghyun? One more hit will do it, but just not enough. The exhaust comes out, and down goes MF as well.
Yeah, a little bit of over-aggressiveness coming out of SK Telecom. Peanut didn't have to take his Q there, but he chose to. And they paid for it, and right at the end there you could see that SKT probably knew that they were going to go down, but they valued the tower as being worth it. even though Songyun and Mickey able to clean up right at the end there.
Yeah, they end a couple of streaks. You see Faker was at 3-0 and 2 before that. So they do get that one. But yeah, I feel like it's also a bit of SKT like showing off, you know, being a bit overconfident, I'd say, more than showing off, going for something like that. But that Cloud Drake's still not being taken. We do see lots of pings going down, perhaps. ROX finally wants to go for that, but not quite.
Mickey just taking the Scuttle Crab away. He's just looking to get any sort of safe farm that he can right now, trying to get as much resources as possible. A little bit risky to actually go into the mid lane to get the farm at this point. And meanwhile, it's also interesting that Bang opted into Essence Reaver first instead of the BF Sword hold into Runan's Hurricane. That basically signaled that SK Telecom wanted to value the cooldown reduction more coming out of Bang, which is a very big part of how they can actually siege turrets with the volley of arrows.
Yeah, I like the idea. He's really just been kind of in the back, shooting out Enchanted Crystal Arrows too, so want to get that done. You see him now pushing top lane with the red buff. He's going to burn that tower down. See, Shy just gives that up, can't really stick around, especially with so many SKT members around.
Clearing out a control ward inside of their own blue side jungle. And even though the position looks very grim right now for the ROX Tigers, we talked about earlier how the longer that this goes, the better it actually gets for ROX. And we've seen glimpses of it where Faker can get locked down by the Nethergrass, but they didn't quite have the damage to finish him off. And their team composition has a lot of utility inside of it.
The Rift Herald goes down. Key gets immediately blasted down. Peanut is going to save Bang's life here. Just get Chain of Corruption. Dooney might go down, but it doesn't matter. Faker doing a ton of damage. Going to get a triple kill, and he's not done yet. Going down does Mickey too, and there's the ace for SKT, and nobody on SKT dies.
No one on SK Telecom died, and the ROX Tigers took a team fight they didn't need to take, and SK Telecom, the kings of punishment so far in LCK Spring 2017. You can see the twisting advance onto Key. Key just got blown up, and the rest of ROX commit to the fight. When Faker arrives, even though he ate a cocoon, it was all too easy for the reset after reset.
Oh, man. You can see Peanut, too, kicking Songyun into the Katarina Death Lotus. Just fantastic plays from the entirety of SK Telecom's team. And this is kind of the pattern that we've been seeing whenever we see SKT come out. They win game number 1. It's not a huge stomp, but they definitely win decisively. And then game 2 is just like a landslide, man.
Yeah, it has been a landslide this game. And SK Telecom, I really have to hand it to them. They are so much better at punishing than the previous SK Telecom of 2016. They do have Huni now up in top lane, and they have Peanut on the jungle. Blank is still a support. We did get to see him play on Sunday. But they're just looking so much more crisp than just a few months ago.
Hey, you gotta love the additions. It's even more fun to watch SKT as a team, more aggressive. They get in on there, as you said, they really like to punish. If you make one single mistake, you could get aced as a team, as we saw there at the Rift Herald, so.
It's Mickey trying to make something happen.
Spotted out, just gonna back off. And that's Ryze's ultimate down now. And here comes Faker.
Ping went down onto Scuttle Crab. Might be telling Huni to take it, although he does come into his blue. Is Huni taking blue buff? I think he is. I think that they're just giving all the blue buffs of the game over to Huni, which isn't that bad of a decision. He is reasonably fed right now. He does have 8 assists, 197 farm.
Well, here we go. A bit of damage coming down, and ROX is just on the run. Nice dodge from that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. The Chain of Corruption goes down too. QSS is used by Faker, but you can see that ROX wants no part of any fight right now. They're like, okay, just get me out of here. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'll just back off. Well, as I say that.
They lost vision, so the flash just being burned by Key. Things go from bad to worse for the ROX Tigers. And I really love how Faker itemizes the Quicksilver Sash as his 3rd item. He recognizes how abnormally far ahead he is right now. He knows that the only way that the Tigers can win a team fight is to chain CC him and lock him down before he's able to get free. And begin getting his resets and just jumping around the fight. Yeah. And so Wisely picks up the Quicksilver Sash.
There's a ward here, and someone's like, can I actually kill that? The answer is no. Well, it might be yes, as, well, he doesn't get the ward, but he is able to back off. As I say that, Faker jumps in, Exhaust goes onto him, and he's still on the hunt. Can he get any more kills is the question. SKT just roaming as a pack of wolves now, looking for some of these Tigers to take out.
Shy looking to get bottom turret. He does have teleport available to him, but SK Telecom starting the Baron.
I just don't see a way that ROX can come in here and actually win a team fight. I just don't see it. They're going to try, though. It's going to be their only hope, and here comes Shy, slowly pushing on in. Mickey trying to do a bit of poke damage, but the turn immediately onto Key. No ultimates coming out of you, and Faker's not done yet, trying to get onto Shy here. A pillar's not going to stop him. Who are you kidding? Down goes Baron, and down goes 2 more members of ROX Tigers as SKT goes up to 12,000 gold ahead.
Yep, and they have a wave up and top, getting tapped with the Baron buff by Faker. He might even stay to get the turret. Never mind, he is recalling, and I loved that Baron attempt by, well, not even an attempt. I love that Baron play by SK Telecom because it has multiple uses. Yes, they're going to get the Baron, but it also baits ROX into coming in to fight them because they can't just let them have it for free. And so they're able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. They're able to force ROX into a team fight that clearly ROX is trying to avoid, and they get the Baron. And you can just see right here, they call in the teleport from Shy. They get that out of him. Key trying to maybe lock down Wolf, but it doesn't matter anyway, and then SK Telecom just turns on the Tigers. And you can see there's absolutely nothing the ROX Tigers can do right now. They're just too far behind in gold.
Yeah, they can't do anything. It's kind of funny to see Key poking his head in, like, oh, maybe I can get a Nether Grasp onto someone. And the split second that SKT decides he's dead within half a second. He just doesn't even see the light of day, and especially does not see a Nether Grasp in this game anymore.
Now SK Telecom rotating down to bottom lane. Cloud Drake is the second dragon of the game spawned.
Wonder if they're going to go for that. Probably not. But pushing on down here in the bot lane, tons of minions that are Baron buffed. But ROX still able to get a defense going here for now. Faker is pushing top lane, going to get that tier 2. No rotation just yet out of ROX Tigers, so just going to give that one up to Faker, deciding they definitely cannot stop that one. They'd probably have to send 3 people up there to kill him.
Indeed they would, and so now all of the outer turrets of the game have fallen. 6 towers up right now, but you can see that SK Telecom, they don't have a very easy way of getting into the base. But that turret is falling, red buff, taking down Key, defending top lane. He's probably the only person that can defend top outside of Shy.
Yeah, and you can see that SKT is just going with the waves. Whenever they have a wave push in, they just chip at one of the turrets. You can see bot wave is pushing in, as is top at the same time, and ROX just, they can't defend every position. As I'm talking, Elise just gets erased. He tries to go for Nether Grasp, goes down as well. And now some Flash is trying to go in here. They're trying to ultimate away. Not allowed there. Huni does deny that. Sangin is going to get kicked out here. Rise disappears from the map. And the only one who's left is Shy.
Shy's busy farming. He can't be asked.
Yeah. Oh, they want this ace. They're going to try to go out to Shy here, and the exhaust should be enough to get him, and that they do. Bullet time, bit of overkill, and SKT, the gigantic overkill of ROX Tigers here, taking another 2-0 as they look to secure even more wins here in LCK Spring.
Yep, and what a 2-0 indeed. I mean, the Katarina came out yet again, and it's not even like a champion that you can ban. Do you really have to ban a Katarina against SK Telecom when they're on red side? And the other problem with it is there's very few mid laners, I feel, that can actually pilot that champion, and Faker is one of them, so it also makes it difficult to practice against inside of scrims.
Look at the looks of disappointment on some of the ROX members' faces. They just can't believe it. That's kind of what we've been seeing across the board when you face SKT. Shy's like, yeah, I'm just happy I got a chance to play. That was a fun game, guys, right? I was farming the entire time. But, yeah, not much they can do on a more serious note. And Peanut getting the clap on the back from the old coach.
He deserves it. He brought Lee Sin its first win.
Yeah, that's true. Lee Sin. Maybe we'll see it picked more after it does finally get the first.